Hello and welcome back to the allotment plot. It is the 30th of July and I've come back from my time away and I'm just having a look and seeing what is going on with the allotment while I've been away. I have so many beans to pick. It's so great seeing so many beans. I'm really excited about the beans. I can never really tell if the tree spinach is growing, but it definitely looks taller than before I went away, so I'm going to start harvesting it. The cosmos once again looks stunning. I love them greeting me every time I come to the plot, and of course going away meant I had some huge courgettes to pick. I had actual marrows. Everything else is looking pretty good. The potatoes are going over, so they're going to need to be harvested. I have some tomatoes which are coming through. There are so many tomatoes on these plants. I've never had this many tomatoes. It's so exciting. And the cherry rose nasturtium is out and it just looks so beautiful. It's more of a pink than red, and you can see the difference here between the normal and the cherry rose nasturtium. The cherry rose is definitely my favourite of the colours. It just doesn't flower as well, which is a shame. My leeks look so good. They're doing wonderfully. I'm really excited to see those in autumn. And the broccolis really need some serious attention, which I'll be doing later in this video. And the best reward for coming back after being away for a while are the sunflowers. The ginger nuts are so cute. They're super fluffy. I absolutely adore them to bits. But the most spectacular thing is that Titan flowered. I knew he would flower while I was away, but my goodness me, he's so beautiful. He's huge. I can't believe how big it is. And he unfortunately is facing the wrong way, but he's very heavy and definitely doesn't have the ability to turn himself towards the sun after the injuries that he sustained at my hand, so I will forgive him for facing the wrong way, but look how beautiful he is. I'm thrilled. The sweet peas have certainly had their day, but I still had some flowers to greet me. My mum has lovingly been picking them for me while I was away, which is very kind, despite the fact she doesn't really like them, so I'm very appreciative of that. But the mildew is really just too much and it just looks so ugly. It's really sad, but it is what it is, and I will have to address that at some point. And the nasturtiums are growing really well, but the cabbage white caterpillars are having an absolute feast on there. So again, they're also looking a bit scrappy, but at least these guys are eating the nasturtiums and not my broccolis, which I'm very grateful for. The second of the flower beds that has my squash plant in it isn't looking great, and the squash plant is hanging on for dear life, I think. But there is signs of life in here, so I'm not going to give up on it just yet. But the original flower bed is stunning, and I missed this so much while I was away. I am just in awe of it every time I see it. It looks beautiful. There's always new flowers to see, and it just feels so magical and whimsical, and there are just some super beautiful blooms in there, some really unique flowers which are just stunning and so interesting. But this might just be my favourite one so far. It's so interesting. I absolutely love the cosmos. The echinacea that I sowed last year have finally flowered, and I'm so happy to see them after all this time. They were definitely worth the wait. Plus some beautiful courgettes. My time away involved some serious socialising and it drained me massively, so I did not have the energy to talk to anyone, including my camera, so I do apologise for a very voiceover heavy video, but today I am taking up the remainder of my potatoes. These are definitely over now. The leaves are starting to go a little bit crispy, a little bit yellow, and a few of my previous potatoes had some scab on it, so I wanted to get these out of the ground just in case there was anything going on under there that would potentially compromise the rest of the crop. So I'm just taking up all the potatoes, having my own little treasure hunt, finding all the tubers. It's such a fun activity. It really is so satisfying. It just feels like being a kid again and just digging in the dirt, which I don't know if you guys did that, but I certainly did that. Looking for little treasures and pretending I was on some kind of archaeological dig or something. But just look how many potatoes there are. I cannot believe that the little scabby potatoes that I put in the ground that were just what was left from my mum's seed potatoes produced such an amazing harvest. It really has blown my mind how much I have got from this little patch of my plot. And that basket was incredibly heavy. I wish I had weighed it, but my goodness me, my muscles are getting a workout holding that, let me tell you. So now I just need to figure out what to do with this spot. I'm just going to cover it over for now and figure it out a little bit later on. My goal was to harvest a bunch of stuff for our dinner that evening, so I got some of my chard, which is such a good grower. I will definitely be growing this again next year. I just need to eat it more often. It's very difficult to keep it fresh, so if you're going to eat it, you need to pick it and then basically use it within that day, or you can put it in a vase and it will last maybe another day. But yeah, it needs to be eaten quite quickly after harvesting. I also harvested some of my tree spinach for the first time to see how this would go. You need to cook it before you eat it. It can't be eaten raw. But this did not last at all. It wilted as soon as I picked it. So maybe not the best thing for an allotment plot and better for in the garden. And then it was time to get my beans. There are so many beans on the bean tower. I am inundated with beans. Picking the beans is also a fun little treasure hunt, and it reminded me of Christmas back in the day where my grandparents would hide chocolates on the tree and you had to go and find all of the chocolates, and it just had the exact same energy to me. It was really fun, really thrilling, and it was difficult. It's really hard to find those beans, so when you do find one you get a really nice little sense of satisfaction, and it's just such a wholesome experience. I had a fun time. Up to now, it's mostly been the black beans that I've been harvesting, but I do finally have some fire tongues, and I'm not entirely sure when the best time to pick these are. I'm kind of just going by size, but you can tell the difference between the two. So the fire tongues have a bit of a mottled effect, a little bit of a red in there, and the black beans are just pure green. So they are quite easy to tell the difference, and I'm pretty sure there is a little bit of a taste difference too, but it's hard to tell when they're all cooked together. And once again, I had so many dwarf beans. The dwarf beans have been fantastic. I am so thrilled to have these dwarf beans on my plot, and they are just so happy here. They have such a good environment, I think. They're just thriving. They've got space to roam, and I am really, really pleased with the harvests that I've been getting from these guys. They are just constantly producing, and I've got some more that are going to come up onto the plot, and next year I will probably just have a whole bed of dwarf beans because they're just so tasty and easy to manage. It's just trying to find all of the beans before they grow too much is a tricky thing. So I would like to try and grow different colours next year. So I think I've seen some yellows and some purples, and as long as they don't taste any different, I would be very happy to be growing those because that will make picking them so much easier. This is certainly enough food for a dinner, probably several. I really enjoy eating the chard cooked with some chili flakes and garlic, and I also picked some flowers just because they're so pretty. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to mourn the passing of our dear friend, Titan Sunflower. His life may have been short, but he provided such joy and hope, and he will be sorely missed by all, especially me, who has learned a very valuable lesson in ensuring that the ties around a sunflower stem are not too tight and that they don't cut them in half. To say I'm devastated is an understatement, but I was expecting this. It just happened at a very terrible time where I was already emotionally unstable, and I honestly didn't expect him to get this far. So even seeing him flower was beyond my expectations. As soon as I realised that the ties were cutting into his stem, I thought that was over. He would never ever flower. So I got a couple of days with him, and I treasure those 2 days immensely, and I'm so pleased I got to see it in its full glory. But next year I will absolutely know what to do, and I will know what to expect and what to look for. My 2025 Titan sunflower fell so that my 2026 sunflowers may thrive. So the big petals on a sunflower are actually called ray petals, and the flowers are all these hundreds of individual little things that are just in front of the seeds. And I just love sunflowers so much. I think they're so cool. They do the phototropism thing where they follow the sun, and they're just stunning. I noticed there are all of these immature seeds on the seed head, so I wondered if I might be able to keep it alive long enough to actually mature even just one of those seeds. I'm not hopeful this will work, but I was desperate to get something from this sunflower and not give up on it just yet. So I cut off the majority of the stem. It is so heavy, so I needed it to be able to hold itself up in whatever vessel of water I had. At this point it was a watering can. I cut off the lower leaf so that the leaf wasn't in the water, which would just rot. And I'm just gonna hope something happens. I'll take him home. He'll be looked after as best as I possibly can. And maybe something will happen, maybe it won't, but I'm not giving up just yet. While I am really sad about my sunflower, there is still a whole plot full of other plants that need my attention. So this evening was the focus of the broccolis. These poor guys have been absolute troopers and have grown really well despite the constricted space. So they definitely need their own cage where they can grow and stretch out a little bit. Earlier this year, my mum constructed a cage out of the poles and connectors of my greenhouse, which she used to cover her blueberries. It was incredibly successful and she had some amazing blueberry harvests, but the season is now over, so I can take back my greenhouse, and instead of blueberries, it's going to be protecting my brassicas. Over time, when I have my more permanent beds, I will be creating a specific brassica cage, but I really just needed to get these broccolis covered and I didn't have time. They were growing far too quickly to get everything I wanted done. So in the future, that's going to be one of my goals, but for now, this will do just fine. This gave a good opportunity to weed this bed really well. There were a lot of annuals coming up in here, and thankfully they were quite easy to pull out. There was nothing too intrusive or constricting. It was just a case of pulling up all the little weeds, giving a really thorough check over every single leaf just to make sure there weren't any caterpillar eggs or caterpillars munching on the leaves, which thankfully there wasn't. And then I just had to pop the cage over the top and try and not squish my broccolis, which was a little bit tricky. The frame is super light, it's just hollow tubes, so it's more cumbersome than anything. But with it in place, I hopefully will be able to keep out the cabbage white butterflies and any nibbly creatures. Hopefully. There is a net over there. And also I got the pallet bed that I made a few weeks ago into position as well. It's been a bit of a weird week with some very unexpected feelings and situations coming up which I had to deal with in my life. And it just made me so grateful once again for my plot and to have this space to come to and just solidify the fact that this is where I should be focusing my attention and efforts for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next allotment vlog update. Until then, stay calm and carry on going. Bye!